Hello everyone, this is HispaZargon, and I have recorded a new video. Some weeks ago I asked my subscribers about if they were interested in knowing how I make this homebrew material, okay, for classic HeroQuest. Many of you asked me a lot through these last weeks, so at the time being, I think they have answered around 68 people to the question I threw. 97% asked for a video about this. So here it is. I'm going to show you the full process of to make this material, this box, okay? This box with the books and with the rest of the stuff, the cards and the tiles, everything. And yeah, I hope it will be useful for you. But I would like to clarify first some points. First of all, the video you are going to watch shows how I made this kind of homebrew material, how I make it. Okay. Of course, the processes I follow, I am absolutely sure probably they are not the best ones. I am absolutely sure many of the people watching this video make their homebrew stuff, their boxes, their cards, their tiles in a different way, okay? I'm just showing how I do it because it's the way it works for me with the resources I have and the material I have and the time I have available, okay? But absolutely sure that there are other ways of doing it. I know other ways to do it, okay? But for some reason that I will explain through the video, I decided to make things a little bit differently than many other people. Anyway, that's the first point I would like to highlight. The second one is I would like to show you this video because I would like to demonstrate that every one of us can make this kind of material by our own if we dedicate at least a little bit time for this. This is hobby, this is for fun. So I think everyone can do it. If I can do it, everyone can do it probably. And it is a learning process, of course. The first time you will try to make the cards or make a box like this, maybe you could make some mistakes, but it is something. It is part of the fun, learning how to do it. Okay. So I encourage all of you to make your own homebrew material and expand the game, enjoy the game like Stephen Baker wanted since the very beginning when he designed the game. He's the creator of HeroQuest game. Since the very beginning he wanted the players to make their own HeroQuest stuff and enjoyed it onto the tabletop, okay? And finally, but not less important, I would like to clarify and keep clear that the purpose of this video is just academical, the purpose is just learning, just show you how to do something. I am not encourage anybody to make the classic HeroQuest homebrew stuff following these processes to sell all that stuff. This is not to make business, this is not for selling, this is just for fun. And please don't do it, just do it for yourself, for private use, please, and enjoy the hobby in that way. That's the only thing I would like to clarify. This video is not for encourage anybody to make business or selling HeroQuest material with proper IP rights and so on. It is just to encourage you to do it by yourself, okay, with the resources every one of us more or less have at home or can be easily find on internet, and encourage people to print the files by themselves at home or even any local printing shop they have on their local neighborhoods or things like that. Okay, so let's go. I will not explain anything else. Let's go. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the tools I use. First of all, I am working over a so rigid table. I absolutely recommend you to use a table where you can, which does not move and so on, because you will be pressing the table with rather force sometimes to cut the different materials. I'm also using this kind of surface protector. They are not so expensive, but I absolutely recommend using one of them. If you don't have one, you can use another alternative, like maybe using any cardboard sheet you have at home, or maybe a stacking of newspapers or whatever you have at home can be used for this purpose. But I absolutely recommend you using a surface protector, of course, because otherwise you will damage the table. Another important tool is, of course, the light. I just use this kind of office lamp, regular office lamp, but you can use whatever light source you would like to. But the important thing is, if you use your right hand, of course the light should be at the left, and if you use left hand, the light should be at the right. Okay, it's obvious, but anyway, I would like to mention it. Another tool very important, the one you are going to use more, is this kind of cutter. Okay, this is the one I use, regular cutter. Okay, but very important, please don't use this kind of other cutters, because they are this blade width is not enough. When you will be cutting, you will probably break it sometimes. The bending moments and forces will be so high. So I don't recommend you to use it, because you can damage yourself, and the damages could be rather serious. So I extremely recommend to use this kind of blades, which their width is enough for the purpose we are going to use them. But be aware about something. There are usually in the market two types of wide blades like this, the two ones I have here. One of them, this one, the one who has more stripes, the one who have more number of division lines, this one has so small thickness. They are so thinner, so the blade can easily bend out of its plane. I don't recommend using them. I strongly recommend using these other ones, the ones who have less number of divisions, because their bending stiffness out of their plane is much higher, and of course much safer. So we will use this kind of blades. Okay. Another tool we will using, of course, is it's a ruler. Okay, an aluminum ruler or a steel ruler, whatever you have at home, or maybe if you have another similar object made of metal, will be so welcome. Maybe this one is too long. The size of this one is 80 centimeters, which is too much. Maybe just a ruler of 60 or 50 centimeters will be enough for the works you are going to do. This one I have has been so used, because we will use it for cutting. Okay, with the cutter we will use the ruler like this, more or less. So I have used it a lot, and it is rather damaged. Honestly, I am already thinking in buying another one, but this is the one I have right now, and the one I will show you in this video. Well, more materials. Okay, some staples. Okay, regular Cooper staples. We will just use just a few for the books, but you will need just around 4 staples. Okay, but I will tell you later how to use them. But here we have the staples. Regular adhesive tape. Okay, we will see later for what. More materials. Okay, another tool we will need is this kind of something to make sanding works. I will use this kind of grasp. I don't know how you say it in English, maybe grasp. This is one from the Army Painter brand. I use this one for sanding and preparing my miniatures before painting. But you can use whatever you have at home. If you have, for example, sandpaper or another kind of grasp, it will be also welcome. Okay. And now some other tools I use, but they are not absolutely necessary, but I would like to show you too. This is a typical sticker glue, usually by kids at school. Okay, a regular sticker glue. Okay, this is not absolutely necessary, but I would like to also show you. And we have also this kind of tool. This is a paper corner cutter. You can find it very easily in websites like Amazon. Okay, It is not cheap. It costs around 19 or 20 euros. It is not cheap, but I think the price worth. The one I use, it has three different sizes for cutting the corners of the paper: the small, medium, and large. For this exercise, we will use the small one, which makes round corners of about 3 millimeters radius, which is the measure we are looking for. And finally, one tool that I also use, of course it is not absolutely necessary, but it is a needle, okay, a regular needle you may have at home, or whatever other alternative punching tool you may find at home, it is also welcome. The needle I use is this one. I think it would have around 1 millimeter diameter, more or less, but it could have any other diameter. But I don't recommend you using a too thin one. And that's all. These are the tools. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the materials we are going to use in this video. Okay. So now I'm going to show you all the materials I'm going to use through this video. First of all, for the cards, for making the cards, I will use for the core of the cards just two DNA4 papers, okay? 2 sheets of DNA4 papers, but they are not regular papers. They have around 160 grams per square meter density. So I strongly recommend you using at least such density to ensure that the cards will have a proper stiffness when they are made. Okay, so just 2 papers of this one, 2 sheets. We will also need, of course, for the box, one cardboard sheet for each one of the covers of the box. Okay. These ones are DNA3 size. They can be easily found. Well, this is recycled cardboard sheet. It has 1 millimeter thickness, okay, and it can be easily found in large websites like Amazon and things like that. Each one of these sheets could cost you, if you buy, let's say, a package of 20, for example, 20 sheets, it could cost you each sheet less than $1, probably, I guess. So you will need 2 of them, DNA3 size, and you will need another DNA3 or a couple of DNA3 extra cardboards, but unfortunately for the insert of the box, unfortunately I don't have one right now, but yeah, they should have this. The one I used are these ones. They are, I think, 400 grams per square meter cardboard sheet density, and this is the kind of cardboard I am using right now for the inserts, but you can use whatever you want. And to be honest, it is not necessary at all to include an insert inside the box. It is just an aid for helping having everything in place inside the miniatures, the cards, and everything. But the original, as you may know, the original boxes of the classic HeroQuest in the American editions didn't have any insert inside. So this is an extra, okay? But they should have also around a big size like DNA3 size, but not necessary, you will see later. Okay, so now I'm going to show you all the printed material I will use. First of all, the cards. These are the cards printed, okay, in DNA4 size, color size. It is just a regular paper, regular printing color, but it is performed in adhesive paper, okay. This paper is adhesive, okay, and this is the way I made cards. As said, it is not probably the best way to make cards, but this is the way I do. Maybe there are others much better. I'm sure there are others much better and much quicker, but this is the way I use, and I like the finish, so this is the way I'm still doing it. So 4 DNA4 adhesive papers for the cards. Here we have the tiles, okay. I printed them in a maybe too thin cardboard sheet, DNA3 size. All these printings have been performed, this is important to be said, has been performed in true size, okay? I have not scaled any one of the files I have printed. This is important to get the proper size of the squares of the tiles and so on. and the same for the cards, okay? The same for the cards. In that way you can get exactly the same size the original cards had in the game. Okay, so the tiles are just printed in a DIN A3 cardboard sheet. I recommend you printing it maybe in at least in a 400 grams per square meter density cardboard sheet, because this one maybe is not rigid enough, it's not stiff enough, but well, anyway, the classic HeroQuest use it, for example, Kellar's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord expansion sets use it as so thin cardboard sheet, so no problem anyway. Now I will show you the covers of the this is the covers of the quest book printed in color, okay, in bright color, glossy paper, glossy printed color, okay, that's important. And it is two-sided, printed like a booklet, okay. You should select on the printer the booklet option or the magazine option, okay, to get the proper position of each one of the sheets, of each one of the sheets of the book, okay. It is printed in color, everything is printed in color, more or less, and it is printed in cardboard, okay, in a thin cardboard, but cardboard. And now the rest of the pages of the quest book are printed in the same way, again in DIN A3 size paper, but they are printed in regular white paper, okay. This is not cardboard, this is regular paper, and here we have all the pages printed of the book, okay. And the same for the designer's notes booklet, okay. The designer's note booklet, if you would like to print it, and which I absolutely recommend you to do, it is printed following the same aesthetic as the original rulebook from the game system. So the covers are printed in just regular paper too, okay? It is printed in color, of course, again, as magazine and like selecting the booklet or magazine option. Here we have the three or four templates for the box parts, okay? The back of the box, the front of the box, okay? These are templates we will use, and this is the template for the inserts, and the other template for the inserts, okay? This is DIN A3 paper, regular paper. And finally here we have the two printings of the covers of the box, okay? The front cover and the back cover, both printed in DIN A3 plus, okay? This is not a regular DIN A3, it is a little bit bigger. This is a DIN A3 plus size paper, glossy paper, printed in color and in adhesive. This is very important, this is an adhesive paper, okay? Yeah, and in glossy, okay, to get a good finish, and the same for the back. And yeah, okay, so I would like to say that all the printed material has cost me in a local printer shop around 25 euros, okay, all the printed material you have seen, around 25 euros, so it is not a cheap printer shop, but maybe for someone could be too much cost, but honestly it was the one I had closer, so I didn't look for anyone else, it was the cost I had, so I would guess that it could not be much higher in other places, and maybe it could cost you even less, okay? All the material I'm using is around maybe $35 totally, with the cardboard sheets and the printed materials, around $35, so all the materials, okay, I would say, not the tools, just materials, $35 I would say. And another material we will use, the final one, to make all this work, is this kind of aluminum regular tape, okay, you may find in many places, blacksmiths and many places. It is made of aluminum. You can also use American tape if you want, but something more, the idea is trying to use tape a little bit more stronger than a regular plastic tape, okay, so that's the reason why I use an aluminum one. You will see later for what. And that's all. This has been the presentation of all the materials I will use through this video. So now, First of all, we will go for making the tiles. Okay, so the first component of the expansion we are going to make are the tiles. It is the easiest one. Okay, I will just cut the tiles cardboard sheet and bend it, and that's all. I will not cut each tile. This is something to be done by your own. But let's start. We will use the cutter and the aluminum ruler, right? You just need to align the ruler. What I recommend you is first cutting the short side, okay, like this. There is something very important. It is better to cut a bit more of the black area than less. I mean, the worst thing you can obtain from these tasks is having at the end one white line right here in the borders. That, in my opinion, that does not look well. So it is better to cut a little bit more of black area than less, in my opinion, but as you wish. So we can cut, okay? You will need, of course, a basket of something to put all these remains of papers or reuse them much better in other homebrew projects you may have. Okay. Oh, sorry. The second cut should be this one. Okay. And let's see. We cut it. Okay, so we have cut all the four edges of this cardboard sheet. You can use, of course, much better a guillotine, but to have a good guillotine at home is not easy. A good guillotine means that you will need probably a big guillotine with a lot of weight to allow you make straight cuts. So I don't recommend the use of any guillotine if you don't have a very good one at home. It is much better to use the ruler, in my opinion. But let's see. And finally, the bending is so easy. You can use maybe the border of the table if you want to make a straighter bending. Okay, just mark the bending and perform the final bend, and that's all. Here you have it, the cardboard sheet with the tiles. That's all. Very easy, very easy. Okay, so now I'm going to explain you how I make the cards of the expansion. Okay, the process I'm going to show you, I know it is not probably the best one for many people. I know it, and I understand it a lot, because many people prefers to print the cards just in a regular cardboard sheet. Both sizes printed, okay, two sizes printed, one of them with the back, one of them with the front of the card, and after that just get and cut all the cards, and they have already made them in two sizes shape and so on. Yes, it is a quicker method, probably. I'm sure it is a quicker method, but I am not actually sure if it is the best method if you would like to print these files in a local store. So that's the reason why I made this other method, because it is thought to be printed in any place. Even if you go to your neighborhood local printer shop and the person who is there don't know very much how to use the printer, if you print the cards in this shape, the alignment between one side and the other side will just depend on you, not the person who will print them for you. Because many times they don't know exactly how to align this face with this face, and sometimes the back and the front of the card is not printed perfectly aligned. So that's the very reason why I use this method. Fortunately, there are many printer shops that knows how to use properly the printer, and that's, to be honest, that's the usual situation, but not always, and not neighborhoods exist those kind of professional printers. So again, that's the reason why I follow this method. I know it's not the best, but it is the one that will work in every situation. So let's start. Okay, here I have prepared also the two thick papers for the core of each one of these cards. Okay, the first task I will make is just cutting. Well, first of all, because each one of these sheets of these pages includes 4 cards, the first thing I used to do is separating each card in a quick way, okay, from the rest. In a quick way, I mean, I didn't use the roller, I just come here and cut like this with the cutter, okay? The cutter should be in this position, otherwise it is not. So you must cut this way, okay? The light, I will move the light a little bit here because the previous position was not good for me, okay? And you just have to cut all of them. I will cut all of them quickly, the contour, okay? To get, in a first stage, all the cards properly cut, okay? In a raw mode, okay? I'm not following the lines, I'm just cutting the contour to make easier using them later, okay? I will do this with the 15 cards and continue later, okay? Okay, so now we have all the cards prepared, okay, in a raw way, okay, all the cards prepared, independent, each one from the rest. And the next thing we are going to do is bending the cards, okay, bending the cards through their bending line, their axis, or call it whatever you want, their spine, okay, but to get the right position, to get a straight bending, you should use some kind of surface or corner or whatever, the corner of the table, okay, to do it. I will use the corner of the table, okay, and make their bending. I used to move this here. I do it by my own, okay. Okay, so now we have all the cards folded, okay, for their spine. This warranties that you will be able to get a proper alignment between, if you respect this spine, you will see now, but if you respect it, you will get a mostly perfect alignment between the back of the card and the front of the card, okay? Which probably in a local printer sometimes they are not able to get if you print both faces in the same print process, in the same cardboard sheet. But something that said that not always happens, but sometimes happens. So here we have all the cards prepared to be glued. Okay, we can get the first card, and one of the papers we will use as the core. And what I do is the following. I just unfold one of the faces of the card. Okay, this sometimes gets a bit of time. Let's see. Let's try the other corner. Got it. So just one side. I only unfold one of the sides. Okay, and I do the following. I just put on one of the edges of the paper. I put this one next to the spire. Okay, and after that, I bend it, I fold it here and glue it, okay? I have glued one face, and now you can safely remove the other one and do the following, stick it here, and yeah, you have already the card perfectly aligned between one face and the other, okay? And the next process, you can do it in groups of 3 cards and cut the line. Let's see what I mean. And I do the same. Just put it here next to the other card. I just put it here, more or less, okay? Very close. The edge of the paper should be very close to the spine, okay? And that's it. Like this. And now the other face. You remove unfolded the paper, and there you have the next card, and the same with the next one. Okay, yeah, here we have it. Okay, you can put it like that, more or less. Okay, and do the same. Maybe too close to the other one, but no problem, before this is going to be cut. Okay, so here we have the three cards, and now you can go with your ruler and your cutter, okay, and cut this line. Okay, and do the same with the rest of the cards. I will do the same, okay? Okay, so now we have ready, the 15 cards, okay, we have all of them ready to be cut, their final cut, okay, here are the 15 cards, right? So let's start with the cutter and the cutter and the ruler, okay? One important thing I would like to say about this is that, as I explained it with the tiles, we should try always to cut a little bit of the card instead of keeping here a white line, okay? The worst effect would be a white line, okay? A white line on the back of the card, okay? Because these are monster and artifact cards, okay? But imagine if they were treasure cards. If there is a white line here, some player would guess which kind of card it is in the deck, okay? Of course, it is something, if you play with good players, that is something that should not happen, but if you would like to have a finish close to the professional one, I think you should try to avoid keeping white lines around the card every time. It is better to have a smaller card, a little bit smaller card than the originals, than having a white line, in my opinion. So, with this in mind, let's start cutting. First of all, you should perform the short cards. Always perform first the short cards, because the short cards made the long cards the long cuts shorter. So, first of all, the short cards, always. So let's start with the first monster card, okay? Like this, okay? Well, you can, of course, speed up the process much more than I am doing right now, but I am just showing you the process of cutting one card before cutting the rest, okay? 4 cuts, okay? 4 cuts. Okay, so here is the card. This is the Dark Warren Crossman. So here is the card. Later I will cut the corners, okay? But here we have the first card. Let's continue with the rest of the cards. Okay, so we have finally all the cards cut. Okay, it is something important I have not said. I always cut the cards, okay, looking to the back of the card. Okay, the back of the card contour, the edges of the back of the card are the ones who may command the cut, okay, instead of the inner ones, because if you make a mistake in the inner ones, it doesn't matter too much, because it is only seen by the player, the hero player or whatever, or by Sargon. But again, if you make any mistake in the back of the card, it can be seen by any player before revealing the card in the game. So I recommend to doing it seeing the back of the card. Okay, so here we have all the artifact cards of the expansion right here. Okay, and the 5 monster cards. I think there is one I have failed a little bit. Okay, maybe no, all of them are well cut, I think. Yeah, no, well, this one, maybe this one shows I made here a small mistake. This one shows a small white line, so you can try to, the best thing you can do is just keeping it there, leaving it there, okay? But if you can risk yourself a little bit more, you can just make a very accurate cut, okay? Making a lot of pressure in the roller and passing the cutter so stiff, okay? And yeah, here we have the white line. So now the card is mostly perfect. This is not perfect, of course. And yes, and the final step is the following one, which is, the final step is cutting the corners with the round corner, making the round corner. So we will use the small cutter, which is 3mm radius cut, which is the same radius cut that the original cards from the classic HeroQuest game system has also. So that's the reason why I use it. And again, I make these cuts by looking to the back of the card, not to the front. Okay, to ensure that the good cut is made here, is made in the back, not here. Okay, so I repeat the process for each 4 corners, each corner of the cards. Okay, and now we have the first card finished. Okay, the Dark Warrior Scout. Here we have the card. The finish of the cards looks like a lot to the cards from the classic HeroQuest, from the classic game system of HeroQuest. Okay, the stiffness is mostly the same, more or less. It depends on the adhesive paper you use, and yeah, this is something you should try to check by yourself with the materials you can find in your local stores. But yeah, the finish looks like very close to the 90s original material, in my opinion. So that's great, in my opinion. And you can see the perfect alignment of this face of the card with this other face, okay? Which is the purpose of this all very process, which I know, as said, sorry for repeating myself again, but I know it's not the best process to make gaming cards, but it is a process that allows me allows anyone on their neighborhood with their local stores to make them and to ensure that the card can be one face of the card perfectly aligned with the other face of the card. So I will repeat the process with the rest of the 14 cards, and let's see later how they look like. Okay, so this is the final card. So now we have the 15 cards with all their corners rounded. What I used to do is a final check that all the cards have been cut mostly the same way, okay? So I group all the cards, I stack all of them, okay? And check with my fingers, just with the touching with my fingers, if all of them have the rounded corner, and that's the case. So in my opinion, all of them have been cut properly, okay? Of course, they are not industrial professional cards, but they are enough, in my opinion, to play. Of course, I also recommend you using plastic sleeves to protect the cards before playing. it is very important in my opinion, because it will ensure that you will extend their life as much as possible. Okay, so we have here all the cards, the Dark Warriors, the Doom World, okay, the 7 spell scrolls, okay, and the 3 special artifact cards from the Dark Company. Okay. So if you would like to store these cards properly inside the box and avoid being hit or being moved too much, from the remains of the thick paper we have used for the core of the cards, you can cut this kind of, let's say, I don't know, a strap or whatever, and do the following. I used to wrap them like in the modern HQ21 HeroQuest by using this kind of bracer, or I don't know how to call it. But yeah, the idea is this, and for that purpose I just use this stick glue bar, regular one you can use probably at home. Just glue, put a little bit of glue in one of the ends of this paper part, and just do the following in a tight way, okay? But you must just do this to glue everything. Do not put too much glue to avoid damaging the cards itself, but that's all. That's all. You can group them like this, and that's all. Okay? So here we have the cards. We have the cards, we have the tiles. Let's go for the books. Okay, so now we are going to start making the 2 books, including the expansion. We are going to start with the designer's notes booklet. The cover is made also of regular paper, like the rest of the pages. So I will just, it is easier to make this book, in my opinion. As said, the ideal process, okay, well, first of all, I would like to explain you that the files that I uploaded include, they show the exact positions of the staples, if you would like to look the book like the classic ones, okay? The classic original ones had the staples in this very right position, so I introduce a little bit points here in the artwork to show where the staples should be. So first of all, before cutting anything, before folding anything, first of all what I do is installing the staples on their very right places, joining all the papers to avoid them misalignment and these kind of things. The best way to do this is using a staples tool, a staple tool, okay? But you will need to use a very large one, okay? There are some offices where you can find those kind of special tooling to install this kind of staples of books, but I don't have one, and I guess most of the homes didn't have one. They don't have any kind of big staple tool. So that's the reason why I will show you the process I follow to get the same result. Of course, it takes much more time, and you should be a little bit skilled trying to not moving the papers and so on. But I will use the method I follow, a very raw method. I know it's a very weird method, but it's the one I follow, and it allows me to get very close finish to the industrial finish of these books from classic HeroQuest. And the first thing you must do is aligning very well all the pages, okay? Be sure that you have ordered them properly, that's very important. Let's check the pages numbers, okay? And be sure before doing anything that everything is correct, okay? Everything is correct, 20, 21 pages, okay? Very good. So, what I do is the following. First of all, aligning all the pages perfectly, okay? Since now I will be, well, I am doing bad. Yes, let's repeat. I align all the pages very well, okay? And be sure that this hand, left hand, is always pressing the papers, okay? The next thing I will do is using the needle. I'm going right now to use the needle and make the first hole for the staples in the place that it is indicated in the printed paper, and just using, for example, the cut, I will use the cut like this. Okay, so let's be sure. And after that, I will repeat the process with the next hole. Okay, I know it is weird, I know it, but it works, believe me. And all pages are perfectly aligned. I am still pressing the stacking of papers. Okay, they should not move anywhere. And I repeat the process here with the next staple. They are just 4 holes. I am absolutely sure anyone watching this video can do it, or mostly everyone. So, and the final hole, the 4th one, okay, let's repeat. Okay, and now, before moving any paper, let's put the needle outside, you must take some staples. Okay, I have here some staples, and install them by hand. For that, oh, I made a mistake because I should have separated the staples before, but I get one first staple. You have seen I have taken it by using my nail, okay? Separating it from the rest of the staples. And just put the staple vertically in the holes I have made right now, okay? So first staple, put vertically. Let's go for the second staple. Okay, let's try. Here it is. Here it is, the second staple, and repeat the process with the other 2 holes you have made with the needle. Because the holes position already considers the size of the staple. These ones are I guess they are 12mm size. I forgot to tell you, but I think they are 12mm size. Okay, nevertheless, you can check it in the files, or yeah, I guess we can use the we can use the roller, but yes, they have 12mm. I was right, 12mm. So once we have both staples positioned, okay, just fix the first staple and goes up with the rest of the papers, pressing and being sure, yeah, the staple is crossing all the papers, and do the same with the second staple. First hole and second hole, first hole and second hole. Okay, the staples are perfectly installed. Now you just need to bend their ends. Okay, so let's bend their ends. Okay, 1, 2, just with the fingers. You don't need anything else. You should not use anything else to do this, in my opinion. Be sure to not make a cleavage on your fingers. Okay, so now we have all the pages perfectly joined. You will not have any risk anymore of misalignment of the pages, okay? And now we are going, before cutting, we are going to fold all the pages before, okay? To do that, be sure that the front cover is placed down, downwards, okay? That's important because when you will perform the bending, it is more likely to suffer some damage the cover that is upstairs, that is in the top, okay, on the top. But if the cover in the inner part will not suffer damage because it is protected by the surface just below. So I recommend you placing the front cover down. So let's bend it right now. Make sure that this corner goes with this other corner and the same with these other corners, okay? Just look for the position. Yeah, got it. Press with the left hand the stacking of papers, and with your other hand, let's do this slowly. Do not do it hard, just slowly pressing here with the left hand every time. That's very important. Okay, now you can get confidence and continue folding everything, and let's go. Here we have the book. Let's make it a little bit harder, okay? Okay, so now we are going to perform the final cut. Yeah, we have been using this cutter part a lot with the cards. So it is a little bit damaged by the adhesive of the cards and so on. So I will change this end, okay? Let's see, take care. And start using a new one to cut the book, because you should realize that we are going to cut all this thick of paper. It is not possible, in my opinion, trying to cut everything in one shot. I see it rather difficult and rather risky and so tiring. So I recommend you cutting it, passing through several times, taking care you are passing through the very equal place, okay, than the first before, but it is better passing through, cutting several times than just one shot, because it is mostly very difficult to do. So let's start cutting. You can see the marks here. Here you have the mark for cutting, here you have the mark for cutting to get the right place. Okay, one very important thing is before cutting, be sure that very smoothly, be sure that all the pages are in the right position. And once you have done it, press with the left hand, okay? In my case, because I use my right hand much more than my left hand. And right now, just place the ruler in the right position. You must see the lines, okay? Don't cover the lines, don't hide them. You must see them every time. Just a few, but you must see them, okay, to make the cut in the right place. And now, press with the left hand very strong here and start cutting, okay? 45 degrees, more or less, is enough, and start cutting. Okay, first cut, okay, second cut, and you will notice that the cut is being done well. Okay, and before moving the ruler, check that you can get all the papers. And here we have the cut, the very right position. Second cut, again, the short side must be cut before the long side. Okay, so let's go to the short side. Look for the marks. They are more difficult to be seen because they are black color, but yes, they can be seen. Okay, and repeat the process. Repeat the process. Position, you must place in the right position the ruler, press with the left hand and start cutting step by step, okay? Voila! Here we have the second cut perfectly done. And finally, the final cut. Here is the mark, here is the mark. So let's cut two. Okay, pressing with the left hand and cut. Here we have the book perfectly aligned. No pages are cut in the wrong position. Every page is cut in the right position. So I think, as said, the cut is not an industrial cut, it's not a professional cut, but I think for playing and enjoying the game is much more enough this than anything. In my opinion, I don't need industrial cuts to enjoy my homebrew material. It is good enough like this, in my very personal opinion, but okay. So here we have the book, the first book. Let's go for the second book. Okay, so let's make the quest book, okay? The quest book, I'm going to make the quest book exactly the same like the previous designer's notes booklet, okay? So I will not repeat again the explanations, I will just do it in camera. Just to mention one thing, in this case the book has less pages, but the cover is made of cardboard, okay, instead of regular paper. It is very important to not print. I don't recommend you printing these covers in a thick cardboard. I encourage you to not do it, because if you make it in a thicker cardboard sheet, you will have problems here in the spine when you fold it. Probably will appear here cracks, okay? Cracks in the front cover. Will appear here cracks, and they are so visible, I don't recommend you do it, okay? Maybe this cardboard is a little bit thin, but I don't recommend you using a thicker one, okay? That's the reason why I should not do. Another comment I would like to say you is the files. The files you have in the files I share for this expansion, the size of the PDF file is DIN-A3 plus. However, this one you are seeing here is a DIN-A3, just a DIN-A3. It is not a DIN-A3 plus, okay? So if you print it in a DIN-A3 plus, be sure that it is not escalated like this one, but you will probably need to cut some of the margins, okay? Some of the paper excesses, you will need to cut them before doing the task I am doing here. Because now, here you can see that these pages are also DIN-A3 size, like this one, so everything matches, the border matches. But if you use a bigger one, you will need to make it the same size as the papers before to avoid misalignments, okay? That's another task you should do. But anyway, let's start, okay? First of all, we need to perform perfect alignment. Okay, I will prepare the staples before, okay, the two staples, by just using my nail, okay? So let's separate the staple. You can use it also, the cutter, to extract the staples. Doesn't matter how you do it. Try to not damage them, because otherwise the joint will be so weak, okay? The joint here in the spine will be so weak. So first of all, align very well all the pages, okay? And press with the left hand, okay? And using the needle again, this very weird method I use, I know it, sorry about that, but it works for me, and I am sure it will also work for you. It will also work for you. There are less pages now stacked, so you will need to perform less hits probably to drill all the pages, okay? That's why it is also important protecting very well the table. I know many of you will be laughing right now. It is a weird process, I know it, but yeah, I have made all the books like this and it works really well, so why I should change it? Let's take the first staple and place it in the holes I have made, okay? I think this hole has not finished very well, but yeah. And the second staple. Okay, and now let's try to make this delicate task of drilling perfectly all the papers, yeah, with the staple itself, using the staple as the drilling tool, the final drilling tool, the staple itself. Okay, and that's all. Yeah, that's all. We can see here perfectly where the staples have gone on the other side, okay? We can see here the staples, and here in the very right place of the spine. And now just the end of the staples might be, not sure if the staples is right, it's very well said, but yeah. Now we have the staples in the right place, all the pages aligned, so we are in the same way finally. And the same, the front cover should be downwards, place it. Now to perform the proper fold, we will make the coincidence between this corner and this corner, okay? More or less, and this corner the same way. And start the bending softly, okay? You must press with lot of load this part and start making the folding. The book itself will look for the right position when doing this. You will notice, okay? Because the book knows where the staples are. Hopefully I have explained it well. But you see, well, here this one has been misaligned a little bit, but you can correct it a little bit from here. Do it step by step and you will be able to correct anything you notice is not going well. Well, I have corrected it. And now the same from the front cover, we are going to perform the cut the cuts, okay, by using the ruler and the cutter. Okay, let's look for the marks. You should see the marks. In this case they are white color, and now pressing hard. Okay, so first cut done. Let's go for the second one. Okay. And yeah, let's check, everything is going well. And the final one, we can see the marks, the white marks here. Let's press all the papers and perform the final cut right now. Pressing hard the roller. Ensuring all the pages are cut. Okay, so now we have finally the quest book. You can see that everything is in place, the page numbers, the Wandering Monster line, all the notes, everything, the map is not cut, everything is aligned, and everything, let's see the map, everything is where it should be. Okay, the cards, everything. So here we have the final quest book. Let's go finally to make the box. Okay, so now let's make the box. The box of a regular expansion for classic HeroQuest, an American version of classic HeroQuest, like with the size of the legendary Color's Keep or Return of the Witch Lord expansion boxes. First of all, we should make the two covers of the box, the core of the box, okay, and later the surface. For that, we are going to use these two templates, okay, one for the front cover and the other one for the back cover, and these two thick cardboard sheets of recycled cardboard, okay. So first of all, we are going to make the back cover core. So the first thing is marking here the cutting points, okay, and for that purpose you can use this template that I have provided to you also. So first of all, you must fix this template to the cardboard sheet. For that, I will use this regular adhesive tape, okay. You will not need anything more accurate in my opinion. So just fix the paper, okay, to the cardboard sheet. Try to not bend it too much when doing this, okay. Be sure that the surface is fully plain, and yeah, be sure that no bubbles, no bends, let's say no mountains of paper appear and things like that, okay. Just fix it like this, it's enough. And what I used to do is just using, you can do it with following other methodologies of course, but the one I use, I think is so precise, is using the cutter and just marking. You will need to mark this point, and this point in each one of the four corners of the cardboard piece, okay. It's enough, okay. Just marking this point, and this point. I used to mark them like this, for example, by across, okay. Just like this, trying to cut both the paper and the cardboard a little bit. Just making crosses, okay, it's enough. And this one is a little bit more tricky because, yeah, you will need to do it like this, probably, to not just mark the L, instead of marking across, mark an L shape, okay, to avoid damaging, to avoid cutting the cardboard sheet in the wrong place, okay. Just mark them like this, okay, each corner. It looks slow, but believe me, it is quicker than it looks like. Okay. As said, this is the method I follow. Probably maybe others if you have, for example, even with the needle, you can do it with the needle, but the problem with the needle is you will not be able to see properly where the points are before when you are going to cut them to perform the final cut in the cardboard sheet. You will not see the points. Okay, this template can be used for more. If you are going to make more boxes, can be used the same template. Okay, you just need to print it once. Okay, I have made a lot of boxes just with one template printed, so you can do it too, for sure. If I can, you can. I'm absolutely sure of that. So let's, okay, be sure that all points have been marked before removing the template. Okay, so now you have everything marked. Okay, everything is marked, and I will repeat the same process. Well, first of all, I will repeat the same process with the front template. So let's see later for the final cut. Okay, let's check if there are the marks. Probably you can see here one mark, one mark, one mark, one mark, one mark. All the marks are in their very right place. Let's do the same with the front. So I will take another cardboard sheet, okay, for the front. Okay, so now we have the two cardboard pieces ready to be cut. Okay, so let's start with the first one. I think this one was the back cover. Okay, now we are going to need only the cutter again and the roller. So let's find the points. As said with other components of this expansion, first thing we are going to do is cutting the contours. Okay, starting with the shortest cut we can do. So let's find, here is a point, one of the corners, and here is the other. So let's cut both using the cutter. Okay, let's go. A couple of times you may pass, maybe 3, that's all. It's a 1mm thick cardboard. Let's cut the next ones. Okay, be sure that you are cutting the right place. If you are not sure, let's check it. Well, here I have had some problems with the ruler because it's an old ruler, as I said you before. Yeah, here I have had some problems, but no problem. We can remove it like this. These are the bad things of using bad material, so be aware about it. Sorry about that. Yeah, things happen. Okay, let's continue. Now we are going to cut the other two external edges. Let's cut it. Don't hesitate to pass more than once. Okay, and now we are going to cut the 4 corners, but at the same time I am going to use the following trick. First of all, I will place here, here and here. Okay, I will place the roller in their right places. but I don't want to cut everything, okay? I just want to cut from this point to this point, okay? And from this point to this other point, right? But I will not move the roller, I will retract the blade and use this part to mark the folding line too, because this will be also a folding line. So I will mark it with this part of the roller, okay? Sorry, of the cutter. Right. Please check it before, everything is right. And the same for this other line, this other cutting and folding line. I will cut first the parts I need. This side and this other side. And now I retract the blade and use this other part, this not cutting part, to mark the folding line. And I will repeat this with the other two sides of the other pending cuts, okay? Okay. Good. So now we have the first core finished. Let's do the same for the second core. Let's do the same. Here we have it, short side first. Okay, so now we have both parts of the covers ready to be folded. Okay, I made some mistakes, not sure how well the box will finish at the end because I made some small mistakes because I forgot to mark properly one of the corners. I felt a little bit confused, but hopefully I have solved it well. So let's see how it goes at the end. But yeah, I'm going to fold each one of the sides of each one of the covers, okay, the cover scores, and make them before placing the adhesive paper to have the last finish. So first of all, I will start with the back cover. First of all, I need to fold them, so I will use the edge of the table to do it, okay? So, well, sorry for not showing it at the camera, but basically the idea is this one. Don't worry about these scraps you have there, okay? So just fold the four sides, okay? Now we have the four sides fold, and now we are going to make one of the most important parts of this process, which is joining the corners. The corners, here we have the box cover, the inner one, so now we need to join the corners, okay? And how are we going to do it? Okay, so now we are going to use this aluminum adhesive tape. So I will get it and cut using the cutter just some straps of this material, okay? 1, 2, 3 and 4, okay? We will not need anyone else for one per corner, okay? So now we have the 4 straps of aluminum paper. It doesn't matter to have them with the exact same width, it doesn't matter. Approximately 2 centimeters width, it's enough, 20 millimeters. And you just need to fix them on each corner to make the corner stiffer and to close it, okay? So just remove and fold the aluminum. But one very important thing is trying to force this edge and this edge to be in the corner at the same level. This is very important. Trying to not put them like this or like this. They should be in the same level, okay? It's very important that to allow later to install the adhesive properly. So just paste one side, okay? And now the other side, trying to get the proper level of the edges, okay? And that's all. We already have one corner finished. Let's go for another one. We take the aluminum tape and repeat the process. Okay? And second corner finish. Everything at the same level. This is very important. Very, very, very important. To get the edges at the same level for the next steps. Third corner, we do the same, okay? And I will do the same with the fourth corner. Okay. Now we have the 4 corners ready. The 4 corners are ready and it starts to look like a box. Let's repeat the same process with the front cover. Okay, so now we have both. Okay, we have both parts of the box. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do right now is correcting these ugly parts. Okay, to do that, we are going to use the craft, okay, or the sandpaper you have at home or whatever you have, and we are going to sand all this excess, okay. It is not fully needed, but I absolutely recommend you doing it, okay, to accommodate much better the adhesive paper. The same with this size, and the same with all the size. Okay, so now we have both covers of the box ready to be finished by means of the adhesive. I'm going to clean this a little bit before continuing. So let's go. Okay, so let's start with the back cover. Let's be sure that you get the right back cover, back cover, okay? Which is this one, yeah, the smaller one. The smaller one is the right one, yeah. Okay, so it's this one. Well, the process to do this is the following. We will start to avoid excessing the tolerances and so on. The first thing we must do is gluing one of the long sides, not the short sides, okay? One of the long sides of the box. So we are going to glue first this one. So first of all, you must remove very carefully. You must remove all the folding paper on the back, okay? Not doing it too hard to avoid damaging the paper because it is glued, and it is very easy to damage it here and here. If I pull from here, I will damage it if I don't unglue this part before too, okay? Hopefully it has been understood, but you must take care and go slow like this, okay? More or less like this is the right way, more or less. Okay, and here we have the same problem, so you must take care too. Okay, you must take care. Well, with practice you will see that doing this is easy. You can do it, for example, removing just one part and after that the other part to make the process safe, more safe, okay? Like this. Good. So now we have everything unfolded. So the most important point here is we are going to glue this long part, this long side of the box first. But the reference position we will get is this point and this point. First of all, we must try to match this corner to this point and this corner to this point. Okay? Sorry, this corner to this point and this corner to this point. Okay, so let's put this corner on this point first. And let's put this corner, once it is placed, let's put this corner on this place. And after that, let's see what we are going to do. We are going to do right this. Okay, and more or less, this corner will match with this corner and this corner will match with this corner. The process is not perfect, okay? You will not make a perfect industrial professional box, but it will be rather close in my opinion, and the opinion I think of many others. So now we glue this part and now everything is very easy. Just follow this process. The second thing you must do is to glue the central face of the box, okay? Glue the central face, more or less, and next step is fixing the other long side of the box, like this, okay? Like this. And now we have more or less the box rather finished, okay? You can see how it looks like by now. Next step, before gluing these other two sides, these tabs must be folded, okay? Must be folded like this. Must be folded like this and like this. And after that, you can fold also these other two and these other two, okay? And after that, you can do the following, which is rotating like this again to glue this other side, and the same with this other one. And voila, here we have the box. Let's move a little bit the light. Here we have the box, more or less, okay? And now, again, first of all, the long side. We should do like this, the long side, from the middle to the sides, okay? From the middle to the sides. You can take some help from the table. And the same for this other side. First of all, the long sides. And after that, the short sides of the box, okay? You can get help from the box and now the short sides. Okay, the same, and this other one the same. Okay, so here now you can finish a little bit the corners using your fingers. You can be sure and finish, let's say for example these white lines, you can press a little bit to make them softer. Okay, whatever you think is the right way to do it would be good, but this is the idea. This is the idea, and you have already the back cover of the box already finished. Let's continue with the front cover. So the process must be repeated, okay? Okay, so here we have the so weighted front cover of the expansion is here. The same, we can fix all this just using the fingers, okay? You can fix everything so easily. So here we have and that's all. Here we have the box. Okay? Here we have the box. You can open it because it has not weight inside. It's more difficult to open, but yeah, you can see if you place here maybe they could easily be closed. That's all. We have it finished. Okay, we have it finished. It's not the best one I have made, but yeah, I was recording the video. But anyway, it can be perfectly used in your games to store your homebrew campaigns. Okay, the only thing pending is the insert to be put here. So let's go. Okay, so now the only pending thing is the insert. Okay, the insert of the box. Well, for that, I designed one very basic insert. Okay, just to be a practical or functional insert, just to keep everything on their place and trying to avoid moving inside the box. If you move the box and so on, the miniatures and everything, the cards and the books stay on their place. Okay, so it's a very basic insert, but I follow the same process. The same process to make the core of the box covers. So you can just find these two templates to make the two pieces, the two parts of the insert. Unfortunately, you may use you should use Dane A3 size cardboard sheet. Okay, unfortunately I don't have any one available, but I used to use this kind of cardboard. Okay, it is not too thick, but it is enough for the insert. You can find it in websites like Amazon and so on. This is the size of the cardboard sheet, and it has 400 grams per square meter, which is rather enough. The objective, the goal is making these two parts, okay, these two different parts of the insert by using this template, following the same way. I will not repeat it again, the same way I used to make the parts of the box, okay? So this should be one of the parts and this should be the other part, okay? It's very simple, but you can make whatever insert you think is better, okay? So once you have the insert finished, now we just need to finish the full expansion box, okay? Just put the insert on its place, like this, for example. You can put the insert like this. As said, this insert design can be much better. Of course, you can fix this part to the other side and so on, but yeah, this is a basic one. And yes, here you would have place for the cards, for example, there, okay, for the cards, or For the miniatures here, the miniatures of your expansion, here the tiles, okay, the tiles we have made, and the two books, the designer notes and the quest book, okay, you can put it like this if you want, and finally the front cover, and here you have the final expansion set. Its components are not moved too much inside, and that's all. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I have never done a video like this, so hopefully it has been useful for you. And the best thing of this video I would like to show is everyone I think can make homebrew stuff for the classic American HeroQuest with a decent finish if you take the time and put the effort on doing it, which, believe me, it is not so difficult. I have tried through this video to show you everything I try to consider during the making process, during the handcrafting process, and I think the finish is rather good for your games, and to enjoy the game even more, like Stephen Baker wanted. Stephen Baker wanted us to make our own homebrew material and expand the game as we want, and I think we can do it. So thank you very much for watching.